Your soulmate at dawn, and what was said will shake you. Don't scroll, pause right here and listen to this, because the moment you are hearing these words is not accidental, and this message is for you in a way your heart needs this right now even if you don't fully understand why yet. Dawn is a sacred hour, the space between what was and what will be, when the universe lowers its voice and souls speak without armor. While the world was quiet, while you were sleeping or lying awake pretending not to think about them, something happened that cannot be undone. Stay till the end, because what unfolded at dawn was not small, not casual, and not imagined. Your soulmate stood face to face with a truth they had been avoiding, and when truth arrives at dawn, it doesn't whisper politely, it shakes the foundations of everything built on fear. Listen to this carefully. At that hour, distractions fall away. There is no past to hide in and no future to escape to. There is only honesty. And in that honesty, your name surfaced, not as a memory, but as a realization. Not, I miss them, but, I know now. That's the kind of knowing that changes people. This message is for you because your soul felt that shift too. Maybe you woke up suddenly. Maybe you felt a heaviness mixed with calm. Maybe you checked the time and saw repeating numbers without meaning to. Angel numbers like 444 or 555 appearing as if the universe itself was nodding. That was not coincidence. That was resonance. Your heart needs this reminder right now. When two souls are connected, awakening in one is felt in the other, even across silence. Don't scroll away from this part. What was said at dawn wasn't spoken out loud yet, but it was spoken inwardly, and inward vows are the most powerful kind. Words like, I was wrong, I was scared, I felt it all along, rose up without resistance. The excuses that once felt convincing suddenly sounded hollow. Pride didn't survive that hour. Neither did denial. Dawn has a way of dissolving illusions gently but completely. Listen to this moment closely. Your soulmate didn't just think of you, they confronted the cost of not choosing you sooner. And that realization is heavy, but it's also purifying. This message is for you because you've been doing your own work in the quiet. You've been healing, grounding, learning how to breathe without waiting for a message, learning how to trust yourself instead of chasing reassurance. That wasn't you giving up. That was you preparing. Stay with me, because destiny doesn't move loudly when it's real. It moves precisely. The universe does not orchestrate dawn awakenings by accident. That hour is chosen because it strips away ego and leaves only truth. And truth, once seen, cannot be unseen. Your soulmate now knows something they didn't fully know before, not emotionally, but spiritually. They know that the connection with you is not a chapter they can revisit casually. It's a turning point. Listen to this carefully. You may have felt lately like something was settling inside you, like the anxiety softened, like you weren't reaching the way you used to. That's because you were being steadied for what's coming next. Your heart needs this right now because part of you still wonders if all this depth is real or just hope. But hope feels restless. This feels calm. This feels anchored. Don't scroll, because this matters. When a soulmate reaches clarity at dawn, action follows, not impulsive action, but intentional movement. Conversations that once felt impossible begin forming. Courage replaces hesitation. Timing aligns without force. The universe does not wake someone up just to put them back to sleep. Stay till the end, because here's the part that will truly shake you. When what was said at dawn finally reaches you, it will not feel chaotic or overwhelming. It will feel strangely familiar, like something you already knew but needed to hear aloud. You will recognize it not by excitement, but by peace. By the way your body relaxes instead of tensing. By the way your breath deepens instead of catching. That's how aligned truth arrives. This message is for you because you are no longer meant to question whether you are chosen. You are meant to witness someone choosing truth. And truth chooses alignment every time. Listen to this moment. The universe has been watching how you respond without guarantees, how you stay open without chasing, how you honor yourself even when answers were delayed. That's why you can receive what's coming without losing yourself. Don't scroll away from this knowing. Dawn was only the beginning. What follows is clarity, honesty, and a shift that cannot be reversed. If this resonated, if something inside you feels stirred yet steady, let that energy continue. Like, share, and subscribe in this same calm flow, because the universe is still speaking, and you won't want to miss what comes next. And remember, stay till the end of your own story, because when truth is spoken at dawn, it changes everything that follows. Don't scroll, stay right here with me, because what unfolds after dawn is just as powerful as what was realized during it, and listen to this carefully because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now even if you feel like you've already sensed the shift. Dawn is the awakening, but what comes after is integration, and integration is where destiny quietly rearranges lives. After that moment of truth, after the stillness spoke louder than fear, your soulmate didn't simply return to normal life unchanged. Something followed them into the morning. A weight, a clarity, a knowing that could not be shaken off with routine or distraction. Stay till the end, because this is where the story deepens. When the sun rose, they carried the echo of what was said inside them, and every ordinary moment afterward felt different. Coffee tasted different. Silence felt heavier. Conversations felt hollow unless they were honest. That's what happens when truth is activated at a soul level. Listen to this moment closely. You may have felt it too, even without words. A sense that something had shifted, that the energy between you wasn't dormant anymore, but moving. Maybe you felt calmer than usual. Maybe you felt emotional without knowing why. Maybe you checked the time and noticed repeating numbers again, 10:10, 12:12, 2:22, appearing when you weren't looking for signs at all. Your heart needs this reminder right now. When the universe confirms something, it doesn't always shout. Sometimes it repeats itself until you feel safe believing it. Don't scroll away from this. After dawn, the mind tries to bargain, tries to minimize what the soul already accepted. Your soulmate may have told themselves it was just a thought, just a feeling, just an emotional wave. But the body remembers truth. The body responds to alignment. And they felt it in the chest, in the breath, in the inability to move forward the same way anymore. Listen to this carefully. What was said at dawn planted a seed that began growing immediately. Questions they once avoided surfaced naturally. Why did I wait? What was I protecting myself from? What does it cost me to keep pretending this doesn't matter? Those questions are uncomfortable, but they are necessary. This message is for you because you've been living with those questions longer than they have, and you've already done the work of answering them inwardly. That's why you're not shaken now. You're steady. Stay with me here, because destiny always moves asymmetrically at first. One soul awakens, then the other. One accepts truth, then the other receives it. You are being prepared to receive without losing balance. That's why your life has been slowing down emotionally. That's why old attachments lost their grip. That's why you stopped chasing clarity and started trusting timing. Your heart needs this right now because part of you still wonders if anything will actually change in the physical world. But listen to this. Spiritual shifts always precede physical ones. Energy moves first. Actions follow. The universe does not skip steps. Don't scroll, because this is where the tension builds. After dawn, your soulmate began noticing the contrast between life with truth acknowledged and life pretending nothing changed. That contrast is unbearable once seen. Distractions don't work the same way. Comfort feels empty. Safety feels limiting. And in that contrast, your presence becomes clear, not as an option, but as alignment. Listen to this moment. You didn't need to remind them. You didn't need to appear. Your energy was already there because it's always been there. Soul connections don't require constant contact to stay alive. They activate when the time is right. Angel numbers may have intensified during this phase for you too, showing up when you felt neutral, not desperate. That's confirmation that this isn't about longing anymore. It's about readiness. This message is for you because you are no longer waiting from a place of lack. You are standing in awareness. Stay till the end, because here's the part most people don't understand. When truth is spoken at dawn, it demands alignment during the day. That means choices. That means movement. That means honesty replacing avoidance. Your soulmate cannot unknow what they now know. They can delay action, but they cannot erase awareness. And awareness always wins eventually. Listen to this carefully. You may soon notice subtle changes, shifts in communication, different energy, different timing, different courage. It won't be dramatic at first. It will be intentional. That's how you'll know it's real. Your heart needs this reminder right now because you're not meant to brace yourself for chaos. You're meant to stay grounded. What's coming is not meant to disrupt your peace. It's meant to meet it. Don't scroll away from this knowing. You've done the inner work required to remain steady when truth approaches. That's rare. Most people crumble when answers arrive. You won't. You'll recognize them. And when what was said at dawn finally reaches you in words or actions, it will feel less like a surprise and more like confirmation. Like something clicking into place that always belonged there. Stay with this energy. Let it anchor you. Because dawn was only the awakening. What follows is alignment unfolding in real time. Don't scroll. Stay right here with me, because what begins to unfold now is the part most people never talk about, the quiet stretch after awakening where truth starts reshaping reality, and listen to this carefully because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now even if you're trying not to expect anything. After dawn, after the realization settled in them, something subtle but irreversible began taking place. It wasn't dramatic. There was no immediate confession, no impulsive message, no sudden declaration. Instead, there was a deep internal reordering, the kind that happens when a soul finally admits what it has known all along. Your soulmate began noticing how every path they tried to walk forward without acknowledging you felt slightly off, like a compass that couldn't point true north anymore. Stay till the end, because this is where destiny tightens its grip in the most gentle but unavoidable way. You may have felt it as well, a strange steadiness mixed with anticipation, not anxiety, not longing, but a sense of alignment hovering just out of reach. That feeling isn't imagination. It's two timelines beginning to merge. Listen to this moment closely. When truth is spoken at dawn, the day that follows becomes a test of integrity. Every choice feels heavier. Every distraction feels thinner. Your soulmate likely tried to push the feeling down, to focus on responsibilities, routines, obligations, but the awareness followed them everywhere. The truth didn't demand attention loudly, it simply refused to be ignored. That's how real awakenings work. Your heart needs this reminder right now because you've lived in that space before, where you tried to move forward while something unresolved pulled at your chest. You know how impossible it becomes. Don't scroll away from this. The universe is intentional in the way it brings souls back into alignment. It doesn't rush, because rushed reunions collapse. It allows awareness to mature into courage. After dawn, your soulmate began revisiting moments they once dismissed, conversations that felt insignificant at the time but now carried weight, moments where they chose safety over truth, silence over vulnerability. This wasn't self-punishment. It was clarity. And clarity always precedes action. Listen to this carefully. You may have noticed signs increasing around you during this phase, not because you were asking for them, but because you were finally calm enough to notice. Numbers repeating when you weren't thinking about anything at all. Songs playing at the exact right moment. Memories surfacing gently instead of painfully. These are confirmations that energy is moving without force. This message is for you because you're no longer being prepared to chase an outcome, you're being prepared to receive alignment. There's a difference. Stay with me here, because this is where the emotional tension builds in a different way. The more your soulmate integrates what was realized at dawn, the harder it becomes to continue living in half-truth. Half-truths are exhausting once full truth is seen. They create friction inside the soul. And friction always leads to movement. That movement may begin quietly, a decision to speak more honestly, a desire to reconnect, an inability to stay silent any longer. But make no mistake, something is shifting. Listen to this moment. You didn't imagine the pause that followed dawn. You didn't misread the stillness. Stillness is not absence. Stillness is alignment forming. Your heart needs this reminder right now because part of you may be tempted to interpret quiet as nothing happening. But some of the most important changes happen without an audience. Don't scroll, because this matters. The universe has been watching how you handle the waiting without desperation, how you remain grounded without guarantees, how you choose peace instead of spiraling into old patterns. That's why what's coming next won't knock you off balance. You're not standing where you used to stand. You're stronger now. You're calmer now. You're more anchored in yourself. Listen to this carefully. When your soulmate finally moves from awareness to action, it won't feel rushed. It won't feel chaotic. It will feel intentional. That's how you'll know it's real. There will be a different quality to the energy, slower, steadier, more present. And you'll feel it immediately in your body. Your chest won't tighten. Your breath won't catch. Instead, you'll feel a sense of recognition, like something long delayed has finally arrived at the right time. Stay till the end, because here's the truth that will ground you. You are not waiting to be chosen. You are waiting for alignment to meet you where you stand. And alignment doesn't ask you to shrink, chase, or prove anything. It meets you as you are. This message is for you because you are no longer meant to operate from uncertainty. You're meant to observe from clarity. Don't scroll away from this knowing. Dawn was the awakening. The day after dawn is the reckoning with truth. And what follows that reckoning is movement that cannot be undone. Whether that movement comes as words, actions, or undeniable shifts in energy, you will recognize it instantly. It will feel less like a shock and more like confirmation. Like something you already accepted internally now being mirrored externally. Stay with this energy. Let it anchor you. Because the universe is not finished speaking yet, and what comes next is built on truth that was brave enough to surface at dawn. Don't scroll, stay right here with me, because what unfolds now is the phase where truth stops echoing quietly inside and begins pressing gently but firmly on reality itself. And listen to this carefully because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now, even if you're trying not to read too much into the stillness. After the realization settled, after the internal reckoning began, something else followed your soulmate through the hours and into the days ahead: responsibility. Not guilt, not panic, but responsibility for what they now know cannot be undone. Awareness, once awakened, carries weight. It asks questions that cannot be unheard. It changes the meaning of silence. It turns avoidance into discomfort and comfort into restlessness. Your soulmate is no longer moving through their days the same way, even if outwardly nothing looks different yet. Inside, the shift is undeniable. Stay till the end, because this is where destiny begins to narrow paths and remove detours. When truth rises at dawn, the day that follows becomes a mirror. Every interaction feels reflective. Every decision feels intentional. They may have tried to distract themselves, to return to routine, to convince themselves that nothing has to change immediately. But the soul does not negotiate with truth. It integrates it. And integration demands alignment. Listen to this moment closely. You may have felt something similar on your side, a strange calm paired with heightened awareness, like you're no longer scanning the horizon anxiously but simply noticing what moves toward you. That's not passivity. That's readiness. Your heart needs this reminder right now because you are no longer operating from uncertainty, you're operating from trust in yourself. Don't scroll away from this. After dawn, after awareness, comes the phase of testing integrity. Integrity is not about being perfect. It's about being honest enough to let truth change you. Your soulmate is being tested now, not by circumstances, but by their own conscience. Choices that once felt neutral now feel charged. Silence feels heavier. Distance feels less comfortable. And the reason for that is simple: the truth they acknowledged has reorganized their priorities. Listen to this carefully. This doesn't mean they immediately know exactly what to say or how to act. Awakening doesn't deliver a script. It delivers clarity. And clarity often creates a pause while courage catches up. This message is for you because you are not meant to interpret this pause as rejection or confusion. You are meant to recognize it as alignment forming. Stay with me here, because this is where emotional tension shifts from anxiety to inevitability. The universe does not awaken a soul only to leave the truth unused. It applies pressure gently, steadily, until movement occurs. That movement may start internally, a decision to be honest, a refusal to keep pretending, a quiet resolve to stop running from what matters. And once that resolve forms, external action becomes a matter of timing, not doubt. Listen to this moment. You may notice signs around you increasing again, not urgently, but rhythmically. Repeating numbers appearing when you're calm. Songs carrying lyrics that feel oddly specific. Memories resurfacing not to hurt, but to clarify. These are confirmations that the story is progressing exactly as it should. Your heart needs this right now because part of you may still fear disappointment, may still brace for silence, may still wonder if awareness will turn into action. But listen carefully. Awareness that shakes someone at dawn does not fade by afternoon. It deepens. Don't scroll, because this matters deeply. The universe has been watching how you handle this phase. How you stay grounded instead of reaching. How you remain open without chasing. How you trust timing without abandoning yourself. That steadiness is what allows the next step to arrive without chaos. You are not meant to be emotionally shaken by what comes next. You are meant to receive it from a place of balance. Listen to this carefully. When your soulmate begins to move from internal alignment to external expression, it will not feel impulsive. It will feel considered. It will feel slower than you once imagined, but stronger than anything rushed. And your body will recognize it immediately. There will be no spike of anxiety. No fear of being misled. Just a quiet knowing that something real is happening. Stay till the end, because here is the truth that anchors everything. You are not waiting for someone to decide your worth. You are witnessing someone decide whether they are ready to live in truth. That decision is theirs to make, and you do not need to manage it. Your role was never to convince, chase, or prove. Your role was to become steady enough to meet alignment when it arrives. And you have done that. Don't scroll away from this knowing. What began at dawn was not a fleeting thought. It was a turning point. And turning points always lead somewhere. Whether the next step arrives as words spoken, actions taken, or undeniable shifts in energy, you will recognize it not by intensity, but by peace. Stay with this energy. Let it ground you. Because the universe is still unfolding the story, and every step from here is being shaped by a truth that was brave enough to surface when the world was quiet enough to hear it. Don't scroll, stay right here with me, because what unfolds now is the stretch where truth begins to reshape behavior, not in a rush, not in a spectacle, but in the quiet, deliberate ways that last. And listen to this carefully, because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now, even if you've grown used to trusting the calm. After integrity is tested and awareness settles into responsibility, the universe narrows the field. Options that once felt open begin to feel closed. Distractions lose their appeal. Excuses feel thinner. Your soulmate is moving through days that look ordinary on the surface but are internally charged with meaning. The truth that surfaced has begun to ask for consistency, and consistency requires alignment across thoughts, words, and actions. Stay till the end, because this is where destiny starts removing friction by removing what no longer fits. You may have noticed it on your side too, an easing of inner tension paired with sharper discernment, like your intuition is no longer scanning for danger but quietly confirming what belongs and what doesn't. That shift matters. It means you're no longer waiting from a place of uncertainty, you're observing from a place of strength. Don't scroll away from this. After dawn, after reckoning, after integrity, comes choice. Not a loud choice, not a dramatic ultimatum, but a series of small, honest decisions that point in one direction again and again. Your soulmate is learning that alignment is not a single moment of courage, it's the courage to be the same person tomorrow that they were honest enough to be today. Listen to this carefully. They may feel the pull to simplify their life, to clear conversations that feel incomplete, to create space where truth can live without interference. That doesn't happen all at once. It happens step by step. And those steps leave energetic footprints you can feel. Your heart needs this reminder right now because you're sensitive to energy, not noise. You'll sense the difference before you hear it explained. You may feel a steadier warmth instead of spikes of emotion, a grounded curiosity instead of anxious anticipation. That's alignment approaching. Angel numbers may appear in a steadier rhythm now, not as alarms but as confirmations. For 44 when you feel anchored in your body, 222 when balance feels natural instead of forced, 1111 when you catch yourself present and unguarded. These signs are not pushing you to act, they're reassuring you that action is forming without your interference. Don't scroll, because this is where patience transforms into power. You are not waiting idly. You are holding your ground. Holding your ground means you're not bending to soothe uncertainty, not over-explaining to manage outcomes, not reaching to control timing. You're letting reality show itself. And reality responds to that steadiness. Listen to this moment closely. As your soulmate moves through this phase, the contrast between aligned truth and old patterns becomes unmistakable. Old patterns feel heavy. Aligned truth feels lighter, even when it asks for courage. That contrast educates the soul quickly. And when the soul learns, the body follows. You may notice subtle shifts in how energy reaches you, communication that feels clearer even if it's brief, pauses that feel intentional instead of evasive, a tone that carries presence rather than distance. These are not coincidences. They are the language of integration. Your heart needs this right now because you are no longer here to interpret mixed signals. Mixed signals belong to mixed alignment. And mixed alignment is being resolved. Don't scroll away from this truth. The universe doesn't bring souls to the edge of honesty and then abandon them there. It supports movement by aligning circumstances, softening fears, and simplifying choices. This is the phase where excuses run out and values take over. Your soulmate is being guided to choose congruence, to let what they know be matched by how they live. That choice is sacred because it changes trajectories. Stay with me here, because this is where the emotional tension shifts again, from inevitability to readiness. Readiness doesn't look like urgency. It looks like resolve. It looks like showing up the same way twice. It looks like choosing truth even when no one is watching. And you will feel it as a steady signal rather than a dramatic announcement. Listen to this carefully. You are not meant to brace for impact. You are meant to remain receptive without abandoning your boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are clarity. And clarity invites aligned love to meet you cleanly. Your heart needs this reminder right now because you've already done the hardest part. You stayed open without chasing, you stayed grounded without guarantees, you trusted yourself when answers were delayed. That work is what allows the next step to arrive without destabilizing you. Angel numbers may keep appearing at moments of neutrality, when you're simply living your life. An assurance that alignment is happening in the background while you remain centered. Don't scroll, because this matters deeply. When your soulmate's choices begin to reflect their awakening, you won't feel the urge to analyze or question. Your body will recognize congruence. Congruence feels safe. It feels quiet. It feels like the nervous system can finally rest. And if something still doesn't align, you will notice that too, without panic, without self-doubt. That's discernment. Discernment is the reward of patience. Stay till the end, because here is the anchor: you are not here to manage someone else's process. You are here to meet alignment when it arrives and to remain steady if it takes another step to reach you. Both are forms of strength. The universe honors both. As this phase continues, notice how your life simplifies emotionally. Decisions feel clearer. Priorities reorder themselves. You may find yourself choosing rest over rumination, presence over prediction. That's not disengagement. That's wisdom in motion. Listen to this moment. The truth that emerged at dawn has been working quietly, reshaping not just feelings but habits, not just intentions but follow-through. Habits are where alignment proves itself. And when habits change, futures do too. Don't scroll away from this knowing. What's coming is not meant to shock you out of your center. It's meant to meet you in it. Whether the next expression arrives as a conversation that finally feels clean, an action that finally matches words, or a shift that removes ambiguity altogether, you will recognize it by peace. Peace is the signature of alignment. Stay with this energy. Let it ground you. Because the story is not rushing toward a climax, it is settling into truth that can be sustained. And that is the kind of ending, and beginning, that lasts. Don't scroll, stay right here with me, because what comes now is the convergence, the place where everything that stirred quietly begins to gather into a single, undeniable current. And listen to this carefully because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now, even if you feel steady enough to think nothing more is required. After awareness has matured into responsibility, after choices have been tested by consistency, the universe does something subtle and profound. It aligns timing with courage. This is when movement stops being theoretical and starts becoming embodied. Your soulmate is standing in a space where pretense no longer fits, where old patterns feel too small, and where the truth acknowledged at dawn now asks to be lived in daylight. This isn't a rush, it's a readiness. Stay till the end, because this is where the story moves without force and without confusion. You may sense it as a quiet inevitability, a feeling that something is forming behind the scenes without your effort. That's not wishful thinking. That's alignment finishing its work. Listen to this moment closely. When a soul commits internally, the external world begins to respond in precise ways. Conversations line up. Opportunities present themselves cleanly. Obstacles soften. Not because everything becomes easy, but because resistance falls away. Your soulmate is learning that truth asks for congruence. What they know, what they say, and what they do must finally match. And when that match begins to happen, you feel it before you see it. Your heart needs this reminder right now because you're attuned to energy more than appearances. You don't need grand gestures to recognize sincerity. You recognize it by the absence of friction, by the steadiness of tone, by the way presence replaces hesitation. Don't scroll away from this. The universe has been carefully calibrating both of you so that when movement arrives, it doesn't knock either of you off balance. You are not meant to be surprised into anxiety. You are meant to be met in calm. Listen to this carefully. There is a difference between action born of pressure and action born of clarity. Pressure creates bursts that fade. Clarity creates steps that endure. What is forming now is the latter. You may notice subtle shifts first. Communication that feels more grounded, pauses that feel intentional rather than evasive, timing that feels considered rather than rushed. These are signs of alignment becoming visible. Angel numbers may appear again, but now they land softly, like confirmations rather than prompts. 444 when you're rooted in your body, 222 when balance feels natural, 1111 when presence replaces anticipation. These are not telling you to do anything. They're reminding you that what's unfolding doesn't require your management. Don't scroll, because this is where patience shows its reward. You stayed open without chasing. You stayed grounded without guarantees. You honored your intuition even when answers were delayed. That steadiness is why the next movement won't destabilize you. Your soulmate, on the other hand, is learning how much easier truth is to carry than avoidance. Avoidance is heavy. It fragments attention and drains energy. Truth consolidates energy. It simplifies decisions. And simplicity is what allows courage to show up consistently. Listen to this moment. You may feel less inclined to imagine outcomes now, less tempted to predict or rehearse. That's because your system recognizes readiness in the air. Readiness doesn't create urgency, it creates calm confidence. Your heart needs this right now because calm confidence can feel unfamiliar after long periods of uncertainty. But unfamiliar doesn't mean unsafe. It means new. Don't scroll away from this knowing. The universe is not asking you to lower your standards or reopen old wounds. It's asking you to remain present while alignment reveals itself. Presence is your power here. Presence keeps you from overreaching. Presence keeps you from misinterpreting silence. Presence allows you to receive what arrives without losing your center. Listen to this carefully. As your soulmate's alignment strengthens, the path forward becomes narrower and clearer. Detours fall away. Half measures lose appeal. Congruence becomes non-negotiable. That doesn't mean perfection, it means follow-through. And follow-through has a very specific energy. It's steady. It's repeatable. It doesn't require persuasion. You will feel it as a settling in your chest, a sense that things are finally landing where they belong. Stay with me here, because this is the moment where the universe asks for trust without blindness. Trust grounded in discernment. Discernment grounded in experience. You've earned that discernment. It allows you to welcome alignment while remaining anchored in yourself. If something aligns, you'll feel safe opening. If something doesn't, you'll feel safe holding your ground. Both are strength. Don't scroll, because this matters deeply. The movement that follows this phase is not meant to shock you into reaction. It's meant to meet you in peace. Whether it arrives as a conversation that finally feels clean and present, an action that matches words without delay, or a shift that removes ambiguity altogether, you will recognize it instantly, not by intensity, but by ease. Ease is the signature of alignment. Your heart needs this reminder right now because ease has often been mistaken for boredom or lack of chemistry. But ease is where intimacy lives long-term. Ease is where nervous systems rest. Ease is where truth stays visible without effort. Listen to this moment. You are not responsible for accelerating someone else's courage. Courage grows best when met with steadiness, not pressure. You've provided that steadiness by choosing yourself, by staying grounded, by not negotiating your worth. That's why what comes next won't require you to explain, convince, or compromise your peace. Don't scroll away from this. As alignment becomes undeniable, you may notice your own life simplifying in response, clearer decisions, lighter days, fewer emotional spikes. That's not coincidence. That's resonance. Your internal state is matching what's forming externally. Angel numbers may continue to appear in moments of neutrality, as if the universe is nodding along while you live your life. That nod is reassurance. It says, stay present. This is unfolding. Listen to this carefully. When the truth that surfaced at dawn finally takes its full shape in daylight, it won't feel like a climax, it will feel like arrival. Arrival doesn't demand applause. It invites presence. And presence is where you are strongest. Stay till the end, because this is the anchor that holds everything together. You are not waiting for proof of your worth, you are witnessing alignment choosing honesty. Whatever arrives next will meet you where you stand, calm, aware, and whole. Let that be enough. Let that be your ground. Because when alignment finishes its work, it doesn't rush you forward, it meets you exactly where you are and says, now. Don't scroll, stay right here with me, because what unfolds now is the settling of destiny into form, the stage where everything that was whispered, felt, and quietly aligned begins to reveal its shape without urgency or force. And listen to this carefully because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now even if you feel like you've already reached peace. This is the moment where peace proves it can hold movement without shattering. After convergence comes embodiment, and embodiment is where alignment stops being something sensed and starts being something lived. Your soulmate is no longer standing at the edge of awareness or testing consistency in private, they are beginning to inhabit the truth they acknowledged. That shift is subtle but powerful. It shows up not as dramatic declarations but as steadiness, as a refusal to return to fragmentation, as a quiet courage that doesn't announce itself but shows up again and again. Stay till the end, because this is where the universe confirms that patience was not waiting in vain, it was preparation for stability. You may feel it in your own body now, a deeper sense of groundedness that doesn't depend on external validation, a confidence that doesn't require explanation. That's not emotional distance. That's self-trust fully activated. Listen to this moment closely. When embodiment begins, the universe rearranges circumstances to support it. Timing feels less chaotic. Interactions feel cleaner. There is less static in the energy. You may notice that what once triggered you now barely registers, not because you care less, but because you're no longer negotiating with uncertainty. Your heart needs this reminder right now because you've learned that calm does not mean stagnation, it means readiness. Don't scroll away from this. Embodiment also reveals what cannot come forward. Anything built on half-truth, avoidance, or fear naturally falls away without confrontation. That's not loss. That's refinement. Your soulmate is feeling this refinement too. Paths that once felt possible now feel misaligned. Comfort zones feel too tight. Old habits feel incompatible with who they are becoming. And compatibility is everything at this stage. Listen to this carefully. Compatibility is not chemistry alone, it's congruence between values, actions, and presence. Congruence is what allows love to last without erosion. This message is for you because you are no longer meant to brace for inconsistency. You are meant to recognize congruence when it appears and trust your body's response to it. Stay with me here, because this is where the emotional tone changes again. The intensity that once fueled longing has softened into depth. Depth doesn't spike the nervous system, it anchors it. You may notice that you're less inclined to narrate the story to yourself, less tempted to predict outcomes. That's because you're finally living inside your life instead of watching it from the outside. Angel numbers may still show up, but now they feel like gentle affirmations rather than guidance. For 44 when you're rooted in your daily rhythm, 222 when balance feels organic, 1111 when presence replaces anticipation. These signs are not asking for action. They're acknowledging alignment. Don't scroll, because this is where alignment tests sustainability. Sustainable truth is quiet. It doesn't need constant reassurance. It holds through ordinary days, not just meaningful moments. Your soulmate is learning this now, learning how much lighter life feels when actions don't contradict awareness. That learning translates into behavior that feels dependable, not perfect, but consistent. Consistency is what creates safety. Safety is what allows intimacy to deepen without fear. Listen to this moment. You may feel an invitation to soften further, not by lowering standards, but by relaxing vigilance. Vigilance kept you safe during uncertainty. Softness allows you to receive once safety is established. Your heart needs this right now because softness after strength can feel risky, but it's actually a sign of confidence. Don't scroll away from this knowing. The universe does not bring souls through long lessons just to leave them guarded forever. It brings them through so they can open without losing themselves. As embodiment continues, you may notice your life simplifying even more. Fewer emotional spikes. Clearer priorities. Decisions that feel obvious rather than debated. That's not boredom. That's alignment stabilizing. Listen to this carefully. If movement toward you becomes visible now, it will feel natural rather than surprising. If space remains, it will feel purposeful rather than anxious. Both outcomes are held by the same truth: you are steady either way. That steadiness is the real culmination of this journey. Stay till the end, because this is the grounding truth that completes this phase. You are no longer defined by waiting, hoping, or interpreting. You are defined by presence. Presence allows you to meet what arrives fully and to release what does not without self-betrayal. Presence is what keeps love clean. Don't scroll away from this. The universe has been aligning not just events, but nervous systems. Yours is calm. Theirs is learning to match that calm. Matching calm takes time, but once it happens, it holds. Angel numbers may appear one last time in moments of neutrality, as if to say, "You're here now." Listen to this moment. What unfolds next will not ask you to abandon your peace. It will meet you inside it. Whether that meeting happens through words spoken, actions repeated, or paths clarified, you will recognize it by the way your body stays relaxed. Relaxation is not indifference. It's safety. And safety is the soil where real love grows. Stay with this energy. Let it anchor you. Because this is not the end of the story, but it is the point where the story stops testing you and starts supporting you.